Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue with our NFL predictions for Week 10. Last week I went 9-5, total season record 86-48. And I actually initially recorded this, but then until I realized when I was editing, I accidentally muted my own mic where you're not going to hear none of my audio. So, and since I don't feel like repeating myself over and over, since I don't feel like repeating myself, I'm just gonna breeze through these predictions pretty quickly. Nope, I ain't gonna get into too big of a what disclosure of what happened last week because I'm about out of energy. So with that in mind, Kansas City Chiefs, Dallas Cowboys, Tennessee Titans, Cincinnati Bengals are on bye weeks, and all these teams desperately need them. So we'll start off with Thursday Night Football, where the Las Vegas Raiders will take on the Denver Broncos. Raiders lost to the Jaguars in overtime. Broncos lost. Broncos won against the Texans in a low-scoring affair being played in Denver. I'm gonna roll with the Denver Broncos to win this game. It should not. They shouldn't have a problem here.
Als nächstes treffen die Atlanta Falcons in Berlin auf die Indianapolis Colts. Die Falcons haben gegen die New England Patriots verloren und die Colts haben gerade ihre zweite Saisonniederlage gegen die Pittsburgh Steelers kassiert, ich hatte es ja vorhergesagt. Das zeigt, wenn man Jonathan Taylor stoppt, kann man den Angriff der Colts neutralisieren. Aber die Falcons befinden sich in einer enttäuschenden Phase und die Verpflichtung von Sauce Gardner, die teuer war, zeigt, dass die Colts alles auf eine Karte setzen. Deshalb tippe ich auf einen Sieg der Indianapolis Colts.
Giants taking on the Bears. Giants coming off a loss to the 49ers where they looked better than anticipated. And the Bears picked up their best victory of the season, beating the Cincinnati Bengals. The game being played in Chicago. I'm going to roll with the Bears in this one. Then we have Thursday Night Football where the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. Bills coming off a big win over the Kansas City Chiefs again. And the Dolphins, they can't wait for the season to end as they lost to the Baltimore Ravens last week. Even though this game being played in Miami, Dolphins have no momentum. I'm going with the Bills to win. Next, we have the Ravens and Vikings. This could be a decently played game. Ravens coming off a big win over the Miami Dolphins. They're starting to look back to normal, while the Vikings picked up a huge win over their division rivals, the Detroit Lions, with J.J. McCarthy back at helm. And even though I kind of went back and forth with this one, I'm leaning slightly towards the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. Then we got two trash teams against the Cleveland Browns and New York Jets. Both teams on a bye, but the Jets were cleaning house badly. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns to win. Only because I don't know, they're favored on the road at least. Then we have a pretty good matchup with the New England Patriots taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Patriots picked up a big win over the Falcons. Buccaneers coming off a bye week. And hopefully they can get some reinforcements back after this bye week. And even though I kind of went back and forth with this one, I'm giving a slight edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. Then we have an NFC South matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. Saints coming off a loss to the Rams. Panthers picking up a huge upset win on the road against the Green Bay Packers. Just follow the same formula, Panthers. You get the job done. Then we have an AFC South matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans. Jaguars picking up a win on the road against the Raiders. Texans, tough home loss to the Broncos where they lost. And CJ Stroud probably not going to play in this one. So I got to lean towards the Jaguars to get the season sweep over the Houston Texans. Then we have the Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Cardinals ending their 5-game losing streak against a team that they always find a way to beat in the Dallas Cowboys. While the Seattle Seahawks picked up their best victory against the Washington Commanders, where they look like they're legit contenders. Being played in Seattle, 12th man reigns. I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game. Another NFC West matchup, Rams 49ers. Rams picked up a win over the Saints, not hard to do. 49ers picked up a win over the Giants, would be not hard to do if it wasn't for all the injuries. And even though this Brock Purdy might return in this one, who knows? But even though it's playing in San Francisco, I gotta go with the healthier team. with the Rams to get the win. Then we have the Detroit Lions taking on the Washington Commanders. This would be game of the week if Jaden Daniels was able to stay healthy. Now this just looks kind of depressing. Lions will be getting their revenge over the Commanders as they're coming off a loss to the Minnesota Vikings, and the Commanders were coming off a loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Steelers picking up a huge upset home win over the Indianapolis Colts. I called that. And the Chargers, yes, they won against the Titans, but they did not look impressive doing it. And given that the Chargers are pretty much beat up on the offensive line, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh pass rush to get the win here. And last but not least, game of the week, where the Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on the Green Bay Packers. Eagles coming off a bye week, but I felt like they had the best bye week any team can have. Adding players and all their threats losing. While the Packers coming off a kind of a pretty upsetting loss to the Carolina Panthers at home. And even though I was going to lean towards the Packers to win this game, I'm actually going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to get the job done here. As I think the Eagles coming off a bye week, everyone in their enemies lost. NFC East lost, the Packers lost, the Lions lost, and they pretty much were active in the trade deadline when they clearly don't have to. I think the Eagles are going to get the job done, get the win here. And that wraps up a seemingly condensed version of my Week 10 predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safely. I'll see you next time.